What would you do if someone came to you and told you you were going to end up marrying your ex? Would you be infuriated or excited about it? Would you just tell the person to keep their mouth shut and say something realistic? Many people hate their ex and may hate the idea of going back to their ex, but that could be the solution that they need. God could want you to be with your ex. Think about it. Your ex once was a person you found suitable enough to be your life partner, so they might not be as bad as you think they are. Your ex could be the one for you. It may be stupid for some people to return to their ex and expect a different outcome. However, for some people, their ex might just be the solution to their singlehood. God could want a person to reunite with their past lover and continue a relationship. The truth is that some people break up with their partners for several reasons. Some break up because things aren't working out, and some break up for insignificant reasons. Several sayings online from many relationship experts will say that a person should never go back to their ex, and they are right at a certain level, but they are not always right. It boils down to why you and your ex broke up in the first place. People who have broken up for very legitimate reasons, like their partner was cheating, abusive, or disrespectful, have every reason not to ever consider going back to an ex. But people who broke up for less serious issues may have a chance to be together. Your ex could be the person that God has chosen for you. I know you probably just rolled your eyes or hissed, but take a moment to think about the reason you broke up with your ex. Do you consider such reasons to be a deal breaker? Or were you just caught up in the heat of unresolved issues and decided to end the relationship? One truth you may need to think about is that God may have chosen this person for you from the very first time that you both dated. But you could have been insensitive to God's will about you being with this person, and this could have affected how you maintain the relationship. It's possible that you only broke up with this person because you didn't know that they were God's will for you. Many times, because we are unsure of God's direction, we may not do things as wholeheartedly as we ought to do them if we knew that God was supporting us and wanted us to do them. A breakup between two people doesn't always indicate the end of their story, and neither does it mean that God doesn't want them to be together. God could have initiated a breakup between the both of you for the good of you both. He may have done so to push you both to work on yourselves and be better before coming together to be in a relationship. God knows that humans tend to give out so much of themselves when in a relationship, and many times end up not focusing on themselves and not working on their dreams and goals. God could have initiated this breakup even though He still wants you and this person to be together. While it was the right person, it could have been the wrong time. God could have separated you both to lead you back together after He sees that both of you have matured and are capable to live out your purposes even while in a relationship with each other. God could also have caused you both to break up because He wanted you and your partner to focus on Him without any distractions. It's very possible that you were both idolizing the relationship between you both, and God wanted you to learn to build a personal relationship with Him first before going into a relationship. God wants all of His children to be in a relationship where He's the focus. He desires that you and your partner be able to glorify Him in a relationship rather than always obsessing over yourselves. Once God sees that your walk with Him has improved and your fellowship with Him can stand in a relationship, He will lead you both back together. Observe the situation and circumstances surrounding the relationship you shared with your ex and evaluate if the reason for your breakup was something that you both could have worked upon, or if it was something that was indeed a deal breaker. If it was something that could have been worked upon, then you just might need to open up your heart to the possibility of what God has in mind for you. Try to remember if God wanted you to be with your ex before you both dated. If God did want you both to be together, then there's every probability that He still wants this person for you. As Christians, we ought to care about God's perceptions and approvals of things we do. Like I said earlier, your breakup could have happened for several reasons, perhaps due to distance, a need for individual growth, or other minor issues. There were certain reasons you decided to date your ex in the first place. This means you evaluated them to be suitable as a partner. So if God is leading you back to your ex, then it isn't something dangerous or bad. After all, there were times you looked at your ex and recognized several godly and good characteristics in them. So take your time to consider all of these before zeroing your mind on it. I know it can be scary to try the same thing again and hope for a different result. But if God is the one leading you to reunite with your ex, then you must trust His power and direction. He will never lead you astray. It may take a lot of humility to return to your ex. You'll have to talk about the things that went wrong and admit to the parts that you played in it. But it'll be worth it if that's what God has in mind for you. Probably you're amongst the many who hold the view that your ex is never to be dated again. And so God's direction may be too hard for you to take or accept. But you must recognize that God's ways are not the ways of men. His thinking is higher and different from the thinking of man. That very person that you've rejected and decided never to see again might be the person that God intends you to be with. Remember that God only wants the best for you always. He is always rooting for you. His desires are for you to be with the right partner. So if God is leading you in the direction of your ex, you should listen to Him and trust Him because He won't lead you astray. God's leadings are only for our good and benefit. People usually get better as they grow up, so your ex has most likely grown into a better version of themselves and has developed a better capacity in handling relationships. God cannot ask you or lead you to return to a person when they are still making the same grievous mistakes as they used to before. The breakup that happened between you both would have provided you both with enough time to overcome your weaknesses and become better partners for each other. God could want you to be with your ex. He could even lead this person to come your way and indicate their interest in mending things between you both. If this happens, take your time to pray about it and make sure you feel at peace before proceeding. You must be sure that it is indeed God who is bringing this person back to you and not the devil. Reuniting with your ex has a lot of benefits, and one of them is that when you both get back together, you wouldn't have to start as total strangers. There's already a strong basis or foundation of acquaintance between you both that will help you to progress in your relationship with each other. This person could be the person that God has planned out for you. They may even be the one with the right personality, attitude, and potential that will complement your attitudes and enable a good and sustainable relationship to thrive between you both. God knows you best, and so He knows the type of partner that ought to be with you. If God determines that the best candidate for you is your ex, then you have to trust Him that He's choosing the best for you. God knows what's best for you. He will never lead you astray, so you can trust Him with His decisions. Cooperate with Him and listen to His leadings. While you may not like the idea of going back to your ex, you must realize that God's ways are different from the ways of man.